thought it was time I needed to actually address this because this keeps coming up this year and I think it's getting confusing. So let's debunk it. Hello lovely couples and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren, wedding planner and owner of Bluebird Creative. I provide a weekly dose of wedding planning goodness for the modern couple. So if you haven't already guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you're not already following me over on Instagram, then come and do that at can't remember what side, Bluebird_creative, where I post a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of my daily goings on and a lot of our real weddings. So there's lots of inspiration for you there and you can kind of see what we're up to, what we do and what we are all about. So let's connect over there. So guys, this week I thought I would dive in and tell you what a wedding coordinator does, and more importantly, what a wedding coordinator does not do, because I've been getting some weird questions this year. So let's dive into this video. So let's start with the does, okay? Because I feel like, you know, let me give you kind of like the positives and the pros and what we do actually do. So every wedding coordinator is going to be slightly different, and you might be considering having a coordinator, or you might just be landing on this video because you're like, what does a coordinator do? What's different? Have I got a coordinator included in my venue? And I've actually done a video on the difference between a wedding coordinator and a venue coordinator, because they are different, my friends. So I will link that up here for you so you can go check that out. But essentially everybody's service will be slightly different, and they will start at a slightly different point in your planning journey, because at the end of the day, everyone is building their own services around what suits their ideal client. So I'm going to talk you through how I run my coordination services. But generally speaking, we will all cover the same things, just perhaps slightly differently. So when we do a coordination for a client, we start 4 weeks before the wedding day. Some people will do 6, some people will do 8. We do 4 because we have it honed in and we know exactly what tasks we are going to do for our client, and we can do those in those 4 weeks. We don't need to start any earlier. If we started earlier, we'd be doing exactly the same tasks spread across a longer amount of time. We don't need to do that. So we start 4 weeks before. 2 weeks before that, we send out a questionnaire to our clients so that they can literally fill in everything to do with their weddings. And essentially, we're downloading all their wedding planning out of their brains and popping it into our questionnaire and onto our online platform, which is Our Planner, which is amazing, guys. In fact, I will link Our Planner below for any up and coming wedding planners, because it's the shiz and that's how we keep ourselves super organized. I think I have a discount code as well, so I'll put that down there for you. But essentially, our clients will fill in the questionnaire, upload all their contacts, everything that we need to know gets put on our platform, so that when we start our contract 4 weeks before the wedding date, we have all the information and we are literally ready to hit the ground running. Then what we do is, once we've started, we meet with our clients at the venue and we do our venue visit / handover meeting. Now, with a lot of clients that will be at the venue, with some clients that will be on a Zoom call, either or is fine. Guys, we've been doing this long enough. We're able to walk into a venue even if we haven't been there and just crack on. Obviously, it's really nice for us to actually have been to the venue, but we will make sure that we've gone out of our way to understand the venue, to look at photos and so on. So Zoom calls actually work fine because we get a lot of international clients that are getting married over here, and perhaps they're not over here 4 weeks before. So we're having calls in Dubai, we're having calls in New York and so on. So either or, whichever one it is, we do that call or that meeting. If it's at the venue, we walk through the venue, we talk about where everything's going to be placed, and basically it's the same on a Zoom call. We literally talk through the whole day. It's essentially exercise for repetition, because we are going through the questionnaire, we're walking through what's happening in the morning, what's happening for the ceremony, what needs to be set up, who's arriving at what time, and so on and so forth. And we go through the whole day, picking out all the details. My clients love these meetings. The feedback I usually get is when they've left the meeting, they're like, I feel so much calmer. I feel like you've got us. I trust you. You know, you flagged up that we need to quickly sort this out before the wedding and so on. Thank God we had the meeting and all the things. So those meetings are super, super handy. Once we've done that with our clients, then in those next few weeks, we will reach out to our clients' suppliers just to touch base, say hey, introduce ourselves, let them know that we'll be their point of contact on the day. double check their contact numbers, give them our contact numbers, and double check their arrival times and if they've got any notes, anything that we should be aware of. We then build our client's timeline. Now they will have the timings of the day down already, so they'll know their ceremony time, they'll have an idea of their wedding breakfast, their caterer would have probably built a bit of a timeline for them as well, so the key points will be in there. But we build something that is very in-depth, and essentially it's overviewing the whole day and every single supplier. So it's basically the master plan. So we will look at every single supplier's arrival time, all the key points for the day, what needs to be moved from one space to the next throughout the day, what needs to be set up, what needs to be styled. You know, all the things, guys, go into this timeline. It's very, very detailed, and it is basically the Bible on the day. Once we've done that, the client vets it, and then we send it out to all the suppliers. So then there's no excuses. Everybody has the master plan, which we are running off of, and their timings may have tweaked slightly, because when you look at the full picture, then you realise that things need to tweak ever so slightly. So that's all the prep work that we do for a client's coordination. And then on the day is, I think, where it starts to get a little bit confusing for people. But let me tell you what it is that we do. So on a wedding day, my team and myself, we will do up to about 11 hours. Now, some coordination companies will literally be there till the bitter end, and that's fantastic and amazing. We can do that for clients. We just charge an hourly rate to stay longer, because I don't feel that we have to stay there unless the client wants to, in which case then we are totally there for them. But I like to give people the option and to not just build that in automatically, because we are all about being affordable and working with the client and what their needs are. So we do up to 11 hours, which usually covers us from about 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. But when I say usually, it just basically we work it off of the first dance. We'll stay a little bit after the first dance and we'll work those hours back from then. And, you know, we tend to work back 10 hours from the first dance, and then we'll stay a little bit longer, and it allows for any overrunning and all that kind of thing. But essentially, we also don't leave until everything's kind of done and everyone's happy partying, and then we go. Because at that point, everyone's drinking, everyone's partying, there's no timings to adhere to, the caterers have got it down with like when they're bringing out the evening food, and we just go. If clients want us to stay to oversee that, then we absolutely can. And if they want us to be there for the pack down, then again, we absolutely can. There isn't a no, it's an add-on, because again, I like to be affordable and I like to give my clients the option so that they can choose, essentially. And they pretty much never choose for us to stay late, but some of them do. And again, that's great. We're absolutely here for it. It's fine. So during that day, we will oversee all the supplier arrivals. We will make sure that everything is arriving that needs to be arriving and when it needs to be arriving. We will deal with anything that comes up. So I've said in previous videos, you know, we've had napkins that have been sent in completely the wrong colour because the company have swapped the orders accidentally and sent one to our venue and another to another venue, and it's got confused. So we were able to actually deal with it, get it switched, get them Ubered and over without the client even knowing, you know, before they even arrive. So we're dealing with those sorts of things on the day. We also will set up furniture. We will set up chairs. We will set up the dining tables alongside the caterers. We'll help styling with any stationery. We'll help style up table plans. I get a lot of questions from clients saying, can you help with any styling? Absolutely, yes. And this is probably where some companies might say no, whereas they might be a bit more logistical, but I think a lot more now do get involved in the styling. We are hands-on and here for it when it comes to styling. Like, we're a very hands-on team. It's quite a laborious job. We'll be moving chairs from the ceremony through to the wedding breakfast. There's a lot of furniture moving throughout a day. It's not glamorous, guys, but it's awesome. So we will oversee all the setup and make sure that everything's looking beautiful throughout the day. We will then make sure that the timings are happening as best they can throughout the day and that our clients and their guests are happy. So we're usually basically the point of contact for the client and the guests throughout the day. They'll spot us. We dress like guests, but we usually have a bum bag on so people know that we are part of the wedding team. We sometimes have our headsets on as well, mainly for the ceremony. So the guests by that point have worked out that we're the wedding planners, and they use us as their point of contact throughout the day to ask any questions, and we'll be dealing with their questions and anything that anyone needs throughout the day, and obviously our clients' needs as well, because they are our number one priority. And that actually is what sets us apart from venues. We are there for the client has picked us, we have a relationship with the client, whereas the venue managers are there to manage the venue. Obviously the client is very important to them as well, but you don't know which venue manager you're going to have and so on. So it's a slightly different role, but we'll be managing that throughout the day. We'll be making sure that everybody's happy. We'll be managing the timings. We'll be moving things. We'll be moving flowers. We'll be moving furniture and all the things. You know, we'll make sure that we're liaising with all the suppliers. So we're kind of like the main point of contact just to make sure that they're happy. You know, I'm very big on making sure that all the suppliers are happy on the day as well, because I think if everybody's happy and working together nicely, then it just makes for a better day. So we just make sure that we're all working together collectively, and that usually means that the day is wonderful. We can also be Toastmaster as well. Now, we don't always do that because clients will have somebody that they've chosen to be their Toastmaster, but if they don't, they'll ask us to do it, and we are very happy to do it. So that's usually me that does that. So that's kind of everything that we do. Dealing with anything unexpected, you know, just making sure that everybody's happy, moving things, repurposing things. We're very busy all day. We probably get about 30 minutes to grab a sip of water and hopefully eat a hot meal. What we don't do, guys, let's dive into that. What we don't do. Now, there's basically one thing, really bizarre, one thing that keeps coming up this year in a lot of my inquiry calls, which is why I wanted to do this video, because I was like, right, I need to put it out there so that there's not any confusion. And it's okay that people are asking this question. I mean, it's absolutely fine that people are asking this question. I just thought I'd clarify it. So a lot of people have been asking if we can deal with food and drink. Can we set up a cake table? Can we cut up the cake? Can we replenish the PIMS dispensers? You know, anything to do with like drink, food. You know, can we lay out a grazing table? I don't know, I'm just trying to think of things that I've sort of been asked this year. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. We are not there to be the caterers, we are not there to be the bar staff, and we are not there to manage that side of the hospitality kind of vibe. We do not have food insurance, liability, or the health and safety that you need to be dealing and managing with food. We also don't have time to do that because we should be overseeing everything and making sure everything is happening. If we get ourselves caught up into filling up drinks dispensers and cutting food up and going off and doing those sorts of things, then not only could we be liable because of the health and safety, food hygiene, insurance and all that sort of thing, but we then might miss some of the things that we actually need to be doing to manage the timings and make sure that everything's running smoothly and so on. So that's a big no-no from us, and I've had to tell quite a few people this year that we can't do that. And I've actually now put it into our contracts that there must be a bar manager or a catering front of house manager on site at any of our weddings, because that means that they're managing their team of waiting staff, they're taking care of the food and drink, because that's not our remit. That is the main thing that's been coming up this year. I've not had it on years before where people have asked us that, but that's been coming in a lot. And I don't know if it's just because people are getting slightly confused with the role that we play. Again, that's why I thought I'd do this video, just to clarify it. I've had a client this year even ask the catering company to get in contact with me, because I think essentially they wanted to see if they needed a front of house manager for the catering company, which 100% they do, because that is not where we deal with. We won't be managing the waiting staff. We will just be making sure that we're liaising with the catering teams in terms of timings. They still need a front of house catering manager to manage their team, just like I'm managing my team on site, and just like every supplier is managing their team. Like the florist will be managing their team on site and asking them to go do the tasks that need to be done. So I hope that that makes sense. We're very happy to get involved with the styling. We're very hands-on with props. We're very hands-on with moving and repurposing flowers and that kind of vibe. We're not there to do the flowers either. That is the florist's role. We do that for private events, but not for our weddings when we're coordinating. That's something that just myself and my company, we can do for private events when we're employed to be the stylist. But as a wedding coordination, we are solely there to move things, style it, not to do other suppliers' roles. We're not there to tread on anyone's toes. We are there to work together cohesively. I mean, when we walk into a wedding and a venue, when we've got a team of people that are just so collaborative and work together, honestly, guys, it's the absolute dream. And I have got suppliers on my list that when I see they're on a client's coordination wedding, I'm like, yes, because I know that we're going to have an amazing day and that the client's going to have an amazing day, because everybody is like singing off the same hymn sheet. They've got the same vibe. I'm here for it. I love it. So there you go, guys. There's not many things that we actually don't do. We do a lot on the day. I mean, it is full on. There's a lot of steps involved. I mean, I think I've racked up on one wedding this year, I've racked up 30,000 steps on a wedding day, which was quite a lot. But usually it's between 20 and 30,000 steps. So we are full on all day, constantly going. You know, we are your yes girls, and I will say yes as much as I possibly can. But obviously when it comes to actually then stepping into other suppliers kind of remits, that's where we have to go, well, no, we can't do that because we obviously have this role to do, and it would spread us too thin, along with all the other reasons that I've already mentioned as well. So anyway, I will stop rambling because I think I've got the point across, and hopefully that clarifies it for anybody that perhaps wasn't sure or was debating it, or perhaps had the question of what do you actually do? That is what we do. That is how we run. I hope that's helpful. And maybe if you're an up and coming planner as well and you've watched this video, it gives you a little bit more insight into a coordination service and how you might want to structure your own service and your own business. So there you go, guys. I hope you found that video helpful. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will be back next week with some more wedding planning goodness. I'll see you then, guys.